Well, thanks for joining us. This is the main news. A warm welcome. My name is Batlani Purim.
And I am Tariro Manamike with Susan Masona at the Sign Language Desk. Let's take a look at the leading stories we have tonight. President Mnangagwa calls on nation to honor sacrifices of the liberation heroes.
Well, price competitiveness has been identified as a key to advancing local content policy. We will hear from By Zimbabwe.
And in sport, Ngezi Platinum Stars defy odds to stay unbeaten in 2026 Premier Soccer League.
Well, President Emmerson Mnangagwa has rallied Zimbabweans to cherish the sacrifices made by the country's liberators. The president was speaking at the burial of national hero Air Commodore retired Simon Bere at the National Shrine today. Our chief correspondent Ruben Barwe was there.
In 1959, a baby boy was born to the Bere family, Brian Simon Bere. In 1978, that baby boy left for the struggle to join others in Mozambique in 1978. He participated in the decolonization process of this country. And just on the 24th of April 2026, he passed on as a Commodore retired in Zambia. He was declared a national hero by the presidency. And today, Zimbabweans gathered at the National Heroes Acre to lay him to rest. The President, Comrade Emmerson Mnangagwa, said the youths of this country must go into the field of ICT and play their role.
You are reminded that you are the vanguard of our independence, our freedom, and our democracy. You are cadres of the contemporary Chimurenga. Your battleground is now the digital economy, mining, tourism, manufacturing sectors, and many others. I urge you to occupy the domains of artificial intelligence, robotics, and other modern fields of human endeavors.
To the women, he said the small, medium enterprises is their terrain as they rebuild the economy.
You sustain the armed liberation struggle. Today, you support the economy through small and medium enterprises. By and large, you bear the brunt of climate change and the effects of economic sanctions imposed on our country by some Western countries.
To the war veterans, the president said, the community is now your base.
I call upon you to deploy your strategic mindsets, your discipline, your loyalty, and the rich history to mentor the next generation of our country's patriots.
To the civil servants, the president said, you need to play a facilitatory role in making this economy deliver.
I challenge the civil servants, officers, men and women across the security sector to continue wholeheartedly serving our nation with patriotism, agency, humility and focus. We have an obligation to deliver life-transforming results that benefit all our people.
As Zimbabweans embark on the fourth Chimurenga, the fourth revolution, the first being fought by the late Mbuyane Handa Nyakasikana, the second by the comrades like the late Comrade Bere, and the third was the land reform program. Now the fourth revolution is now being fought, that is for economic emancipation.
The question before all of us today is, what is it that we can contribute to consolidate the gains of our hard-won independence? what is our individual and collective sacrifice for the attainment of our national development, our aspirations and our vision 2030. Ngatizifunzei kuti tingaitei kuti nyika yedu isimuke uye ibudirire iende mberi. Iweneni tonse tine basa, ndangariro dzedu ngadzive dzokuvaka nyika yedu kwete kuputsa. Unity, peace and development remain our national guiding principle and moral compass. The late national hero, Comrade Bere, never wavered from this beacon. He was persistent, consistent, and a reliable, dependable cadre right up to his demise.
So in the echoing of the gun salute, people must always remember that this country came at a price that saw a lot of lives being lost. Ruben Barwe, ZPC News, at the National Heroes Ekainara.
Meanwhile, colleagues and family have described national hero Air Commodore retired Simon Brian Bere as a humble and professional as well as distinguished military officer.
The National Heroes Acre turned into a sea of purpose and unity as hundreds converged to bid farewell to a gallant son of the soil, Air Commodore retired Brian Bere, who died on the 24th of last month. Air Commodore retired Bere may be gone, but the large turnout at his burial speaks volumes of his contributions to the nation.
He was a man above men, because he showed us the way and he taught us all the basics that were required. And remember, way back then, it was just from the war. So it was integration from the Rhodesian Air Force to the Air Force of Zimbabwe. So we're integrating the whites and the blacks, and engineering was a preserve of the white then.
Vaiva nehunhu hwekuti vati udze nokutidzidzisa kuti mubasa munoitwa sei. Tapedza kuita zvebasa vaizouyako kuti isusu kumba tiri kuita nezvei. Saka vaitikurudzira kuti chero uchishanda basa asi ziva kuti kumba unofanira kunge une zvaunoitawo futi kuti ukure uri munhu akanaka mubasa zvese nekumba kwawakabva.
He was a very good and a professional trainee aircraft technician from the onset until he graduated to be a journeyman. Comrade Bere, Pablo, was a person who would execute his duties in a very, very professional manner. He is someone who was very good socially.
Beyond his distinguished military career, Air Commodore retired Bere was a dedicated farmer in Mashonaland West Province, with the provincial leadership describing his demise as a loss of a doyen.
Murimi ane prazi yake ku Hurungwe Central kwatatiri kwaanga where he was lying in state 2 days ago, and munhu anga ane unyoro, munhu anga asikazvikwidziridzi nekuti uchitaura nevanhu vemunharaunda imomo vanotovarasikirwa nekuti vari kuti chipangamazano chedu chaenda.
Generally, he liked his area where he came from to be developed. He would participate in our activities, be it party activities or national activities, and we feel a huge gap left by him.
To his family, Air Commodore retired Bere was more than a national hero.
He was a man who cared deeply about people. You unified our family in its breath, and as the first son of his generation, he carried that responsibility with fairness in his community, his workplace, and his home. He treated everyone with dignity and kindness. He listened, he supported, he uplifted. Many can testify to his impact, shown through consistent acts of humanity.
Commodore retired Brian Bere, whose Chimurenga name was Comrade Garanewako Chimurenga, was born in Mashonaland West Province in 1959. He joined the liberation struggle in 1978. He then joined the Air Force of Zimbabwe as a non-commissioned officer in 1981. He retired from the active service in 2024, where he was elevated to the rank of Air Commodore. The national hero is survived by his wife Regina and the 3 children. Peter Chifima, ZBC News, Harare.
Right, and just in case if you might have missed that and would like more highlights of what transpired at the National Shrine, you can always go onto our Facebook page and replay the live coverage that we had this morning. Now, massive production and distribution of booster irrigation kits and center pivot equipment is being accelerated at various companies assigned by the government to produce and install irrigation systems countrywide. Tendai Munengwa has been making follow-ups, and he brings us this story.
Our government's accelerated irrigation rehabilitation and development plan is continuing to gather momentum, and we've managed to visit one of the companies in Rua, which is producing the booster kits for the smallholder farmers and center pivots for the large-scale farmers under the government programs. We are joined here by the CEO of this company, that is Mr. Innocent Swanda. How far have you gone with this program?
In the past, say, 3-4 weeks, we've delivered over 25 center pivots countrywide to different projects. We've delivered a lot of other booster kit equipment to different farms. We are rehabilitating schemes, irrigation schemes for communities. We are rehabilitating farms that were previously irrigating, and now because of when the new farmers came in, the irrigation initial was disturbed, but now we're putting it back to use. And government has come up with the booster kit program, where we're making sure that each farmer who is on land is able to irrigate at least 5 hectares.
The manufacturing of these irrigation equipment, which include the booster kits and the center pivots, comes at an opportune time when government has rolled out an ambitious winter wheat program and also revitalizing the smallholder community irrigation schemes. Professor Obed Jiri is the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Agriculture, Mechanization and Water Resources Development. Is joining us to give us more details about the accelerated irrigation rehabilitation and development plan.
We now need to move from the 150,000 or so to at least 350,000 hectares, which will assure us of perennial food security in this country. We do have various programs that we are chasing, and the productivity booster kits that was launched by the president at Krigengoa last year, it was one of the models which we are pushing. Under that, we envisage to put at least 10,000 hectares. We also have various other programs which targets, for example, the MACA program is rehabilitating our irrigation schemes. In total, the irrigation schemes would unlock 26,000 hectares. And that is what we were moving towards. So far, we have covered out of the 460 irrigation schemes that we have, which equate to the 26,000. We have rehabilitated about 331 irrigation schemes.
Since the launch of the booster irrigation scheme by President Emerson Mnangagwa last year, the program has managed to benefit a lot of farmers who are now venturing into strategic crops all year round, like wheat and horticultural produce. Tendai Munengwa, ZBC News in Rua.
Zimbabwe's drive to unlock rural economies through water infrastructure is gathering pace, with newly commissioned dams now anchoring production, tourism and livelihoods. The Holy Cross Dam in the Midlands province is fast becoming a model of how integrated development can turn water bodies into economic hubs.
Spanning a catchment area of over 150 square kilometers, the Holy Cross Dam in Chirumanzi has evolved from an underutilized water body into a thriving hub of economic activity, driving agriculture, aquaculture and tourism, pivoting on the country's integrated rural development agenda. Officially commissioned by President Emmerson Mnangagwa in 2024, the dam is now anchoring a cross-cutting dam economy, supporting over 800 households through irrigation on more than 100 hectares and creating new opportunities across the agricultural value chain.
Turikuita irrigation mvura inobva mudhamu, saka toda kutenda vaMnangagwa vakarangarira isu vechidiki muno mumaruva.
Tinorima gorosi, tinorima masunflower, takukwanisawo kuti unotogara nemari yako muhomwe.
Taidiridza nekanara zvoreva kuti vanhu vaitomuka pakati pousiku vachiita maduties. Iko zvino yangozvidiridzisa.
Beneath the surface, the Chirumanzi Fisheries Hub is targeting a massive output, placing aquaculture at the center of the protein value chain in the Midlands province.
Inospila vanhu vemucommunity vane vachiwana magarden avo achiita zvakanaka. Isusu pachedu community yese hapana anorambidzwa kuraura muno.
Zimbabwe yese kuti tikwanise kuita kuti munhu wese adye fishi dzakawanda tikufana kurima fishi dzinoita 60 metric tons. With the small waterfall yatinayo munomu, the downfall paseri pedam iri, so vanhu vazhinji vari kuuya kuzoona waterfall iyoyo.
Beyond the figures, the transformation unfolding here is also being felt at a community and policy level through coordinated efforts aimed at scaling up dam-driven development.
Vana vedu vakawana mabasa kupfurikidza nekuti kwakavhurwa ma-irrigation, kukavhurwa fisheries, kukave nekuvakwa kwemashaletsa muri kuona ari panaya.
The dam is full to its capacity 100%. And also as part of rural development, our people, women, youth are now fishing in that dam, and also lodges have been constructed for tourism purposes closer to the dam. People are happy to visit the Holy Cross Dam because a lot of activities are happening. Also, it's a rural setup, so we welcome this initiative.
As Zimbabwe continues to invest in water infrastructure across the country, dam economies are proving to be a game changer, with these scenic views contributing to luring of tourists whilst building resilient communities. Wellington Makonese, ZBC News, Chirumanzi.
Now, Tanzania's efforts to partner Geopomona Waste Management Company have reached an advanced stage, with a delegation from the country conducting a learning visit at the waste management site in Harare today.
The Tanzanian government has demonstrated huge interest to partner with Geopomona in waste management, and this Monday the Tanzanian ambassador to Zimbabwe, Her Excellency Susan Kaganda, was accompanied by a delegation from her own country, where they took a look and learn visit to the Geopomona waste management site in Harare. She remarked that she is indeed impressed by the progress which has taken place at this site, especially in terms of employment, where hundreds of young women and men have gotten employment. She also said they are looking forward at future collaborations with Geopomona in order to deal with the issue of waste management.
I'm seeing a sense of commitment, creativity, innovation, but I'm saying that people are committed to see that our region is moving from where we were to the next level. The concept of changing from waste to wealth is here being observed. So when I came, the number of workers here was minimal, technicians, but today I'm seeing more than 1,000 workers. So job creation is found here. So the economy will grow, but people's life will also flourish.
We really appreciate the way they are doing, and we think that due to this collaboration of Tanzania and Zimbabwe, through our excellency, I think everything will be good. Even as we want to cope in to ensure that we forward this technology to Tanzania to ensure that this waste management is coming up even in Dar es Salaam and the other cities in Tanzania.
Giving an update on the construction of the waste-to-energy plant, which is a key feature of this project, Geopomona Waste Management Company Executive Chairperson and Chief Executive Officer Dr. Delish Ngoya revealed that they've already engaged an EPC contractor for these massive works.
This visit will strengthen the relationship between Zimbabwe and the government of Tanzania. The progress of waste-to-energy plant is a key project here. We have already engaged the EPC contractor. We are now in a finalization agreement. Soon we'll start construction of our waste-to-energy plant so that we generate electricity, which is going to feed to the national grid.
Once a filthy place characterized by frequent breakouts of fires and unpleasant odors, this place has undergone a remarkable transformation in a very short space of time, which has attracted huge interest from many countries around the globe. Owen Mandova, ZBC News, Harare.
Now, Cabinet has approved the adoption of the new education policy, which mandates that all schools have to register learners for the Zimbabwe School Examinations Council examinations. This was revealed by the Minister of Primary and Secondary Education, Honourable Torerai Moyo, during an interview with ZBC News.
The move by government to make ZIMSEC examinations compulsory for all schools has been met with mixed reactions from the public.
It's not a bad initiative, but they need to back the initiative up with action. They need to put resources on the table.
It may need to be implemented in a way that would accommodate those students that have not been doing ZIMSEC, so that they may also have a fair chance.
Pane vana vagara vanga vachita Cambridge. Hazvizoaffect here since vana vanga vagara vakagadzirira kunyora chibvunzo dzavo.
What is very important now is to have a tripartite system that supports the new law. The parents, the students, and us as responsible authorities, we have to adhere tenaciously to the new law.
The Minister of Primary and Secondary Education, Honourable Torerai Moyo, clarified contentious issues regarding the new policy.
I want to applaud the government under the astute leadership of our President that Cabinet has already approved that in 2027, all the schools in this country will sit for the examinations that are managed by the Zimbabwe School Examinations Council. But those that wish to continue with the Cambridge, they are allowed, provided they have written to the Secretary for Primary and Secondary Education.
The decision was made after wide consultations with involved stakeholders.
The Ministry of Primary and Secondary Education held a meeting with all the ATS schools at the University of Zimbabwe at the beginning of February this year. It was an engagement meeting when we told them that they should, without delay, start to offer the heritage-based curriculum. And I'm happy to inform all the stakeholders that the training sessions given to headmasters of ATS schools, independent colleges, have started in earnest.
The government is also moved in to address some irregularities in the national examination system.
The students who sit for the Zimbabwe School Examinations Council will never ever be disadvantaged in terms of admission in a university. Zimbabwe School Examinations results are recognized worldwide.
The move is aimed at ensuring a standardized education system which aligns with the national development agenda. Festus Mkunguru says ZBC News, Harare.
Zimbabwe escorted international attention as the country prepares to host 6 nations at the International Fire Management Hub, an initiative that is funded by the Food and Agricultural Organization, FAO. The event will set the tone for enhanced focus on field fire management and reduction.
Within the next 9 days, Zimbabwe will host at least 6 nations drawn from Southern Asia and within Africa at a critical platform that will give direction in the sustainable management and prevention of field fires. Now, this event will also coincide with the National Fire Campaign launch, which is expected to be officiated by Vice President Colonel Retired Dr. Kembo Mohadi in Koromonzi.
This meeting is symbolic in the sense that it provides a benchmark for Southern Africa
to forge strategies that will combat the crisis of wildfires.
We are already looking at a fire campaign that brings everybody on board. Already is kickstarting with the National Fire Launch that we are going to have on the 13th of May with scheduled for Goromonzi. And we are looking forward to having this launch jointly done with the launch of an integrated fire management hub, which comes under the funding of FAO, and it's a global project. It's quite a huge project, and why focusing on Zimbabwe is because of the realization of the efforts that we are putting towards wildfire management.
Like many African nations, Zimbabwe currently battles unsustainably high wildfire incidence statistics, even though the statistics reduced significantly last year, but still the hectarage remains unsustainably high. Environmental experts say wildfires are a silent threat to soil fertility, vegetation, and animal species. This is why reducing the impact is top priority.
When we began NDS1, our target was to say by the end of the first cycle, we should be at 500,000. We remained at about 900 and something thousand hectares. So that is to say we've got a tall order as a country.
To effectively address the wildfire crisis, government has come up with a national wildfire strategy that targets, among other things, to significantly reduce the statistics currently prevailing, as well as to enhance awareness on the wildfires. Theophilus Chuma, ZBC News, Harare.
Government has lauded a private sector's role in driving a strategic shift towards retooling in the manufacturing sector, resulting in improved sectoral output.
Investment in automated production by private players is yielding high volume, high quality output in the manufacturing sector, positioning Zimbabwe's goods and services on a competitive edge. Industry and Commerce Minister Honorable Mangaliso Ndlovu emphasized this observation and trajectory during his tour of a local manufacturing company, Capri Appliances, in Harare this Monday.
The level of investment that we are seeing coming from the private sector is amazing. You just saw a warehouse, a factory that is ready to receive equipment. What you see here, this chest freezer production line will be moving there, and they are putting new equipment altogether. Nothing from here is going into that factory. New equipment, fully automated, and they are targeting to be doing 1,000 chest freezers a day. This is the story being told by the private sector about how well and stable the policies have been, about the fruits of having a stable currency and a stable macroeconomic environment. All we are doing as government now is to look at ways of supporting them. We want them to grow their exports, and we'll be seeing how we can provide certain specific incentives.
The company, which has already registered its footprint in countries such as Zambia, South Africa, and Mozambique, exemplifies the shift towards import substitution and export-led growth within local industry.
We've got a very big market share of Zimbabwe. We produce up to 12,000 fridges and freezers a month for the Zimbabwean market. We export into Zambia, DRC, Malawi, Mozambique, and we're busy developing a new factory that's going to grow our export markets.
According to the Confederation of Zimbabwe Industries, CZI, industrial capacity utilization averaged 55% during the first quarter of this year, a performance also attributed to a surge in private sector investment. John Nandara, ZBC News, Harare.
Well, 3 High Court judges have been sworn in at the Constitutional Court ahead of their expected deployment to Kwekwe. Say more from Panashina Golim.
The Honorable Chief Justice Luke Malaba this Monday swore in 3 new High Court judges at the Constitutional Court in Harare. According to the Judicial Service Commission, the 3 judges are expected to be deployed to Kwekwe, where a new High Court is set to be commissioned as part of government's expanded access to justice.
Kwekwe High Court is going to be opened in the next 2 to 3 months, and we need judges who must be deployed to Kwekwe High Court. I can also tell you that Gwanda is going to be opened before the end of the year. So again, we are going to need judges for those 2 High Court stations. So this recruitment is meant to do just that.
The new High Court judges, who are all coming from the Labour Court, pledged to work tirelessly to deliver justice to the people.
I can promise you the efficiency that I've been running with the Labour Court, the efficiency that I've run with all the other places I've been in charge. Fair justice, efficient justice, no fear, no favor.
You can be sure that you get fairness in my court. You will not be treated any differently from anyone. It's a new position and it entails new responsibilities, and I'm hoping I'll be up to the task.
I'm elated that I've been appointed to this position where I can then show whether I'm able to dispense justice to the nation.
The decentralization agenda has significantly improved access to justice in several ways. And by holding judicial proceedings in various regions, people no longer need to travel long distances to the capital for legal matters. Panasha Nagoli, ZBC News, Harare.
Now, do remember to check out these and more stories on our website. That's www.zbc.co.zw. You can also follow us on our social media pages. That's on YouTube, on X, as well as on Facebook. And our handle is at ZBC News Online.
Right. There are more stories to come on this bulletin, and this is what you can look forward to. We'll hear from Buy Zimbabwe. Price competitiveness having been identified as key to advancing local content policy. And we'll look at sport, where the Platinum Stars are staying unbeaten, or they've been unbeaten in the 2026 Kasolaga Premier Soccer League that is ongoing. Be sure to join us for that and a whole lot more when we come back.
The Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe is pleased to advise the public that the upgraded Big 5 ZiG banknotes are now in circulation, effective 7 April 2026. The new Big 5 ZiG banknote series has been distributed across the country in sufficient quantities to meet anticipated cash demand. The rollout begins with 10 ZiG, 20 ZiG, and the new 50 ZiG note. The 100 ZiG and 200 ZiG will be introduced gradually. 1 ZiG, 2 ZiG and 5 ZiG coins remain in circulation, and the previous ZiG banknotes will continue to circulate alongside the upgraded Big 5 ZiG notes. They will gradually be phased out. The upgraded ZiG banknotes are available through banks, ATMs, and HomeLink kiosks nationwide. Let's embrace and use the upgraded Big 5 ZiG banknotes with pride and confidence. ZiG. Stable, secure, sustainable.
Meet Taku, a young quality controller shaping excellence every day. Through Zimbabwe and European Union trade partnerships, Taku's quality reaches shelves abroad. Taku trains others to sort, seal, and check quality with confidence. From her laptop to the cold room, she understands the full journey to global markets. Skill, confidence, growth. That is Taku's path, and she is bringing others forward with her.
The world is moving fast. Are you keeping up? At MSU, we don't just give you a degree, we give you relevance. Your schedule, your rules. Full-time, block, or weekend sessions. We fit into your life so you can fit into the future. From Gweru to Harare and everywhere in between, this is more than a university. It's a launchpad for the innovators of tomorrow. Secure your spot. The August 2026 intake is live. Quick, secure, life-changing. MSU. Don't just dream it, drive it. Midland State University. Our hands, our minds, our destiny.
We've always known what it takes to grow. But this is what it feels like to finally step inside the dream. It's that quiet moment when a room holds everything it used to be and everything it made possible. That this is actually mine feeling when the first payment hits. That pure adrenaline from a small space to an empire you rule. And when you said you'd almost sleep in your first car, we made sure you actually did. Plans may adapt, circumstances will evolve, but your growth, that's non-negotiable. Bank on growth with Stanbic Bank Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe is our home, and we drive her growth.
Stanbic Bank is a registered commercial bank and a member of the Deposit Protection Scheme.
Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. We continue with the main news bulletin. Invasive alien plants are spreading rapidly across the Mbira district in Mashonaland Central Province, raising alarm after one of the aggressive plants invaded grazing land.
Aggressive invasive plants comprising Cassia tora and pink morning flower are rapidly spreading across parts of Mbira district, raising concern among communities and environmental experts over their impact on local biodiversity and livelihoods.
Despite its lush green appearance, Cassia tora is one of the most aggressive invasive species in Mbira. It is not palatable to cattle and goats, effectively reducing available grazing land and placing pressure on already strained livestock systems.
Chirikukanganisa zvakanyanya makatarisa achidyiwe nemombe kana zvimwe zvipfuwo zvatinochengeta. Pachinomera chinomera zvokuti chinobva chanopamba rimwe sora rese chovharira.
Ward 2 Councillor and Environmental Committee Chairperson Forget Mandevana says the origin of the plant is unclear, but its impact is undeniable.
Chirikuvhiringa zvakare even mumaminda. Pachino chakangokura ichocho achatendere kuti dzimwe mbeu dzikure ende ukachitema chinogona kuti gore rese kwangona ya mvura chinenge chimera chimwe kwangona ya mvura chimera zvimwe saka zvakanyanyisa saka tiri kukudzira kuti sisi nharaunda masabhuku edu neleadership takatowirirana kuti tinofanira kunge tichiita mazuva anenge maviri kana matatu atinopinda mucommunity medu tichitema chinhu ichochi asi kurudziro yange iri kuti tofanira kuchitema chisati chatumbuka kuti tisanyoparadzira mbeu yacho.
The Environmental Management Agency EMA has intensified awareness campaigns across the province, urging communities to take collective action in controlling the invasive species.
As an agency, we are also very deeply disturbed with such incidences of invasive alien species according to the Environmental Management Act, Section 116, which also entails local authorities, farmers, traditional leaders within their various areas of jurisdiction. We encourage them to eradicate or remove all invasive alien species.
Apart from Cassia tora, pink morning rose and the apple of Sodom are the other plant species which environmental authorities are investigating and acting to curb.
What is happening here in Mbira is a stark reminder that not all that is green is good. Without urgent action, the spread of the Cassia tora and pink morning flower could permanently alter this ecosystem, threatening both livelihoods and biodiversity for generations to come. Tapiwa Machemedze, ZBC News, Mbira.
Now, the Second Republic's commitment to rural industrialization is getting buy-in from the citizenry, with a miner in Umzingwane district investing in modern vending mart at Mawabeni Business Center.
With village business units along the Mchaves pipeline driving raw industrialization in Umzingwane district, the establishment of a modern vending mart at Mawabeni Business Center is built to aid that vision. Residents of Mawabeni have welcomed the investment, saying it will strengthen food security, promote raw industrial value chains, and accelerate the transition towards a climate-resilient, irrigation-driven agricultural economy.
lapha kuba le-structure esihle kakhulu sijala ukubonela izinto lesijala ukuzibonela eHarare etown but lapha siyabonga nje ukuthi zisondele eduzane lathi emawabeni siyabonga ukuthi i-structure esihle kakhulu esibona nganthiwa izintandane labafelokazi bazaphatheka kahle ngokwenza ibhizinisi phakathi lapho
khona ku-right lana uyazi ngoba manje kuvalekile amabrandi imali isinisi kuzoba safe imali itshisa ilanga abantu bazobona ukuthi hayi ku-right
kuyasincedisa kakhulu thina esithengisayo vele siyajabula sithokozile ngakho ngokuba le ndawo esiyabe sithengisela kiyo iyabe isiklini.
The structure, which will accommodate more than 50 small enterprises, is part of Umzingwane Rural District Council's Rural Industrialization Drive.
Sizama ukuthi senzele abantu into kube indawo enhle isifiso sami njengoba ubona lokho ngisalungisa lapho ukuthi kube kuhle kube labantu betown kube labantu bangabathi indawo lebesiyenzela abantu bemawabeni but asikhethi mhloma ukuthi izitende ezilapha esizenzileyo so far sile 57.
Abantu bebelokho bethengisela ku-open space kungela ama-sheds nothing izulu lingana babe siba frustrated abantu but siyabonga ukuthi this development isiza basiza abantu ukuthi nxa besuka emizini yabo basuke besithi siya emsebenzini.
The new vending mart is part of Umzingwane RDC's commitment to the rural industrialization agenda, which will in turn aid investments into logistics supportive of market linkages that connect farmers to both domestic and export markets. Providence Maranelli, ZBC News, Umzingwane.
Farmers in Mondoro district of Mashonaland West Province are expecting a bountiful harvest this season after favorable rains and continued government support programs that have been aimed at boosting agricultural productivity.
A field day held in Furai village in Mondorongezi over the weekend brought together farmers, agricultural experts and seed producers to share knowledge and assess the summer crop in the area. The host farmers, Mr. and Mrs. Furai, are expecting a bumper harvest, attributing the promising yields to government-backed input support schemes aided by good rains.
Zvatinenge taudzwa nemadhimeni kunonzi pfumvudza yaisi yekungotaura chete. Tarisai vanga vachiona kana vari kuona izvozvi.
Seed producers reiterated their commitment to supporting farmers through research and innovation.
Munguva ino drought kushayikwa kwemvura pakuru kunyanyisa kushanda nezvirimwa zvinova nekushingirira kwakanyanyisa pazvinhu zvakadai zvinotibatsira saka sevarimi tinoshandidzana pamwe chete nehurumende kuti vanhu vawane kudya kwakakwana.
The priority remains transforming farming into viable business.
Hakuna mhuri inofanira kusara, hakuna nzvimbo inofanira kusara. Tirime murimiro unoita kuti muri imwe neimwe igone kuwana kudya kwakakwana.
Meanwhile, Mashonaland West Province has over 370,000 hectares under maize for the summer cropping season, up from 360,000 hectares recorded last year, reflecting growing farmer participation and confidence in the sector. Tamuka Charakupa, ZBC News, Mondoro.
Elsewhere, tertiary institutions are embracing the use of artificial intelligence and digital systems as part of a broader push towards national development.
At the center of national transformation is innovation emerging from local institutions with solutions designed not to only solve campus challenges but feed into national development. Harare Polytechnic has emerged as a shining example through a locally developed system dubbed Tigashire Siala Mukela, which is redefining how front desk operations are handled, integrating communication, visitor management, and customer service into a single AI-powered platform. The system addresses how long-standing inefficiencies associated with traditional reception systems where fragmented communication channels and manual processes often result in delays, congestion, and poor client experience.
We developed the system, right, so that we avoid having long queues in an organization, and again, it helps us to save time. It integrates of three things. That's the AI chatbot, the direct calls, and the direct part whereas a visitor gets at the gate and they scan into the logging process, whereas they enter their details.
Launching the Zimbabwe National Artificial Intelligence Strategy 2026 to 2030, President Emerson Mnangagwa described AI as a critical tool for driving innovation and development in key sectors like agriculture, mining, and health, essential for achieving Vision 2030.
Now, a 24-year-old man from Harare has been arrested and taken to court after he allegedly raped his 17-year-old aunt.
The accused, whose name is being withheld to protect the identity of the complainant, appeared in court this Monday. According to the state, in March this year, the accused entered the 17-year-old girl's room at night and overpowered the complainant before raping her. The court held that the accused allegedly continued to sexually abuse the complainant on several occasions. The matter only came to light after the complainant confided in a friend who then advised an adult relative before the matter was reported to the police. The suspect, who was remanded in custody, is expected back in court on the 18th of May. Pavo Makona, ZBC News, Harare.
All right, we're off to a break. Be sure to join us for a whole lot more when we come back.
Zimbabwe is building. Zimbabwe is moving. The newly completed Mucheke and Manyame River bridges along the Harare-Masvingo by-bridge road stand as powerful symbols of progress under the NDS2. The Mucheke bridge forms a vital part of the Masvingo urban bypass, strengthening a key link along the busy north-south corridor to by-bridge border post. The Manyame bridge, with its 110-meter deck and deep-driven piles reaching 25 meters into solid rock, showcases advanced engineering delivered by local contractors. Built to SADC standards and designed for 100-year durability, both bridges ease congestion, enhance safety, and support growing freight traffic. Once a notorious bottleneck stretching toward Masvingo Polytechnic, this road now flows efficiently. With over 540 kilometers rehabilitated on the Harare-Masvingo by-bridge road, communities are connected and economic opportunities unlocked. This milestone reflects the visionary leadership of His Excellency, President Comrade Dr. E.D. Mnangagwa. The Manyame and Mucheke bridges, more than crossings, symbols of resilience, progress, and a pathway to national prosperity.
Meet Taku, a young quality controller shaping excellence every day. Through Zimbabwe and European Union trade partnerships, Taku's quality reaches shelves abroad. Taku trains others to sort, seal, and check quality with confidence. From her laptop to the cold room, she understands the full journey to global markets. Skill, confidence, growth. That is Taku's path, and she is bringing others forward with her.
Hundreds of battles fought across the continent by the princes of Europe. Astonishing! But history doesn't care who almost won. It only remembers the name on the trophy.
Where does football go from here?
One night to decide it all on the ultimate stage, 30th of May. Stay connected and watch DSTV to catch the UEFA Champions League final. It's on.
Meet Taku, a young quality controller shaping excellence every day. Through Zimbabwe and European Union trade partnerships, Taku's quality reaches shelves abroad. Taku trains others to sort, seal, and check quality with confidence. From her laptop to the cold room, she understands the full journey to global markets. Skill, confidence, growth. That is Taku's path, and she is bringing others forward with her.
Hundreds of battles fought across the continent by the princes of Europe.
Astonishing!
But history doesn't care who almost won. It only remembers the name on the trophy.
Where does football go from here?
One night to decide it all on the ultimate stage, 30th of May. Stay connected and watch DSTV to catch the UEFA Champions League final. It's on.
Welcome back. You're still watching the main news. Now, former members of the opposition, or rather of opposition political parties, are endorsing Constitutional Amendment Number 3 bill. They say the proposed constitutional changes will safeguard national stability and accelerate infrastructure development.
The development trajectory being witnessed in housing, infrastructure and road infrastructure has attracted the attention of returnees from opposition political outfits who are the latest to endorse Constitutional Amendment Number 3 bill. One of the returnees, Mr. Paddington Japa, says the proposed legislative changes are essential pillars for the attainment of an upper middle income society by 2030.
As returnees, one of the returnees at SANU-PF, we are in full support of Constitutional Amendment Number 3 bill because it is there to support all what the government is trying to achieve in terms of National Development Strategy 1, National Development Strategy 2, Education 5.0, which will give birth to Vision 2030. So, as returnees at ZANU-PF, we are saying we are in full support of what is being done by our government today. The Constitution belongs to us. It is our Constitution. We can amend it anytime we feel like. There's nothing wrong in us amending the Constitution, extending the presidential terms and all other sections, the 21 sections. It is there to improve the nation in terms of development and what we want to achieve as Zimbabweans.
Mr. Japa says the legal framework must speak to current policy shifts that create an enabling environment for local contractors to participate in the country's development trajectory.
The Trababalas interchange, a masterpiece, a masterstroke of how indigenous people, when they are given funding and when they are given an opportunity, they can do it. We are developing our country with our own local resources. There's no foreign investment from World Bank or IMF. These are resources from our own country. And we are doing it as indigenous Zimbabweans.
Last month, Parliament conducted public hearings across the country to gather public views on Constitutional Amendment Number 3 bill. The next stage will see the bill being tabled in Parliament for debate. John Nandara, ZBC News, Harare.
And now we shift our attention to business news, where local firms have been advised to improve price competitiveness of their products, and that is to drive sales in line with the Buy Local thrust.
The government's local content policy aimed at encouraging the use of locally made products to cut the import bill and create jobs should adapt to rapidly changing consumer behaviors to sustain the policy, paving the way for the release of the findings of a consumer satisfactory survey done by a local research firm. By Zimbabwe Chairperson Mr. Munyaradzi Wengwere emphasized the importance of harnessing competitiveness.
The reality is that in the next few years, at least within the southern regions, we'll be able to compete. You won't be able to say, I'm a Zimbabwean, therefore I must claim my market space because you're Zimbabwean. You need to be much more conscious of the product that is coming from South Africa. So that's why we ask them to say, from whatever the consumer says, tell us that information so that we can benchmark. And then the other thing is that African Free Container Trade Area is coming through. So the reality is that where we are going, we can no longer rely on protectionist mechanism to protect our brands.
By Zimbabwe Executive Mr. Alois Buruta cited the ongoing government's ease of doing business reforms to slash operational costs to improve local product affordability.
It's what drives Zimbabweans in buying. 76% is price, right? So that speaks to competitiveness. So government should then be alive to the fact that we need to have policies, and we are happy that government has embarked on the reduction of doing business costs. So that is going to help in terms of competitiveness. It's going to speak to policy direction. It's going to help our government in making decisions that then help competitiveness of our local products as well.
Preliminary survey results show that counterfeit products are flooding the market, with at least 40% of consumers having admitted using the products. Owen Mandova, ZBC News, Harare.
And that is our look at your business news. 10 games into the Premier Soccer League. How is it looking? We'll be finding out more when Anashe brings us sport next.
Meet Taku, a young quality controller shaping excellence every day. Through Zimbabwe and European Union trade partnerships, Taku's quality reaches shelves abroad. Taku trains others to sort, seal, and check quality with confidence. From her laptop to the cold room, she understands the full journey to global markets. Skill, confidence, growth. That is Taku's path, and she is bringing others forward with her.
Welcome to the Sports Corner. Anasha Mrombes here with the latest in the world of sport. Angeze Platinum Stars are emerging as one of the most compelling stories of the 2026 Kasalaga Premier Soccer League season after overcoming a FIFA transfer ban and a mass player exodus to remain the only unbeaten side after 10 games.
Written off as relegation candidates at the start of the campaign, the Monroe-based outfit has turned adversity into inspiration, collecting 5 wins and 5 draws to sit third on the log, just 2 points behind log leaders Cape United. The Platinum Miners' unbeaten run has not come easy, having beaten the log leaders while also holding a second-placed Hard Rock and fourth-placed Scotland. At the heart of the resurgence is head coach Kombirai Mutiokuziva, a shrewd tactician who has been key in navigating a difficult period marked by a transfer embargo, the departure of 7 key players, and a limited squad of just 26 registered players. Rather than lamenting the challenges, Mutiokuziva has leaned on the club's developmental philosophy, promoting academy products who have risen to the occasion. Youngsters Ashwin Karengesha, Tinotenda Ditima, and Tinashe Mavudzi have all blossomed this season, bringing energy and composure to the side. The club has also reinforced its squad by recalling former academy graduates Tinotenda Murasirano and Elson Mwea from loan spells, ensuring continuity within the system. Very hardened stars like Farai Madananga, Evergreen Marvelous Mkumba, and Captain Kade Amini have also provided leadership and direction to the team. Mutiokuziva, who has built a reputation of promoting young players during his time at Rentals, is now reaping the rewards of that philosophy, blending emerging talent with a clear tactical identity that has produced results and attractive football. The league is a marathon, but Ngeze Platinum Stars have started the race on the right note, changing the narrative from potential relegation candidates to title contenders. Despite losing their second match of the season, Cape United are still top with 22 points from 10 matches. Hard Rock are a point behind in second. Third blessed Ngeze Platinum remain in the hunt on 20 points, with the defending champion Scotland concluding the top 4 on 17 points. Harare Giants Dynamos remain in touching distance with 17 points, despite losing their first match of the season after 2-1 defeat to Chicken Inn. Rentals are also on 17 points, while Simba Bora are a point behind, with Moss on 14 points concluding the top half. Despite a change in ownership at Manica Diamonds, there were no immediate ripple effects to their fortunes as they remain rooted at the bottom and winless after 10 matches with just 2 points. New Boys Agama are also winless despite 2 points better. Tier 1 picked up their first win of the season to move to 6 points, 1 behind Triangle. 14th place Hunters concludes the team that are yet to reach double figures with just 8 points. Lawrence Rusida, ZBC News, Harare.
Chapoco Queens have continued their fire-scoring start to the Zimbabwe Women's Premier Soccer League season as they thrashed Mpopoma Sports Academy 5-1 at Chiefs Village in Blayo on Sunday.
Chapungu kicked off the season by clobbering Ngezi Platinum Queens 8-0 at home before following it up with another goal spree away from home. Hat-trick from Panashe Ganje in the second half, pressed by super substitute Passion Chiwena, powered the Gweru-based side to their second straight victory of the new campaign. Chapungu Queens opened the scoring before Popoma Sports Academy equalized through Mighty Warriors under 24 forward Chiedza Kumalo. However, Ganje restored control with two first-half goals, while Chiwena came off the bench to exploit gaps in the defense with two well-taken strikes.
Ndikunzwa kufara nemagoals andagoesa chibva kumateammates angu ndoda kumatenda because ndo aita kuti ndigoesa achindipawo pakanaka.
Chinhu chekuti ndapinda ndachida kuchinja game saka tachitasira kuisa nokufara nazvo.
Chapungu Queens head coach Gladys Bobo praised their squad depth and unity following the dominant performance.
Ndikunzwa kufara zvikuru sekuona kwamaita the youngsters vaita basa rakanaka. We scored 5 tikutraya kurebuilda. Saka we have put more faith kune the youngsters.
Elsewhere, Correctional Queens and Platinum Royals maintained perfect starts to the season. Correctional Queens defeated Cape Royals 3-0, while Platinum Royals edged Harare City Queens 1-0. Former champions Black Rhinos Queens were held to a 1-1 draw by Kweko Queens, while Masvingo-based Rufaro Starlets secured a 2-1 away win over Rise of Hope Academy. Mthokozi Stube, SABC News, Bulawayo.
Now in cricket, Zimbabwe's rebuild started on a slow note after the youthful Lady Chevrons fell to a heavy defeat against Pakistan in the opening ODI of the ICC Women's Championship Series in Karachi this Monday.
With a clear focus on giving emerging players exposure at the highest level, Zimbabwe fielded a largely youthful side, signaling a long-term plan to build a competitive team for the future. Captain Nomvelo Sibanda won the toss and elected to field first, but Pakistan capitalized, posting a commanding 330 for 5 in their 50 overs. Openers Sadaf Shamaz and Gul Feroza set the tone with a 162-run partnership, with Shamaz narrowly missing out on a century after scoring 98, while Feroza added 50. Sidra Amin then anchored the innings with an unbeaten 87 before Najiha Alvi provided late acceleration with a quick-fire 56. Chasing 331, Zimbabwe's young side found the going tough and were bowled out for 162 in 36 overs. Despite the result, there were encouraging signs, with 17-year-old beloved Biza producing a composed half-century, while 20-year-old Kelly Ndiraya chipped in with 34 as the next generation showed glimpses of potential. The match highlighted both the gap at the top level and the importance of continued investment in youth as Zimbabwe seeks to rebuild a stronger, more competitive women's team. The Lady Chevrons will have another opportunity to grow and respond when they face Pakistan in the second ODI on Wednesday.
Still in cricket, the hunt for the next generation of cricketers continues around the country, with the Bulawayo Metropolitan Cricket Association League giving youngsters a chance to develop their talent.
The curtain came down on the 9-team Junior Cricket League, with Dingani Bookshop Cricket Academy emerging winners after beating Nast by 2 wickets to qualify for the first league. All-rounder Charles Tata, who contributed 18 runs against Nast, says playing at the History Cricket Academy is a motivating factor for them to become future icons in the sport.
The league, it's been very amazing. A good learning experience. I'm having lots of fun, making new friends. I really enjoy this league. Cricket is so vibrant in Bulawayo, and I'm just loving it. My source of inspiration, I would say, is ex-Zimbabwe cricketer Sean Williams. He does help me around with my cricket a bit, and he has really made a big impact on my life as a cricketer.
Sport is growing in leaps and bounds in tertiary institutions, with NAST cricketer Brandon Shumba commending the Grassroots Development Trust.
Today, the Bulawayo Metropolitan Cricket Association has been pretty good. As a team, we have grown. As a team, this season has been very positive for us as a team. Yeah, we started off with the T20s, we finished second, and now we are in the 40 overs. We're currently third, hoping that if we win the game, we finish second. We have grown throughout the whole season.
Dingani Bookshop secured a ticket to the first league after finishing top with 32 points from 7 matches. The first league gives young cricketers a chance to make a case for selection into the Matabele Tuskers cricket side. Mthokozi Stube, SABC News, Bulawayo.
To conclude sport, Harare-based teams continue to dominate the Basketball Union of Zimbabwe National Championships, with the Vixens and Harare Kings crowned champions in Bulawayo on Sunday.
basketball teams were a shining beacon at the three-day National Basketball Championships, which concluded in Bulawayo this Sunday. Harare Kings ruled in the men's category, while Vixens dominated the women's contest. Post the COVID-19 pandemic, Harare teams have been winning the national championships save for last year when Wolves won the ladies tournament. Harare Kings beat JBC 82-40 to be crowned champions, while Vixens beat UZ Sparks 48-32. Basketball Union of Zimbabwe Competition Commissioner Francis Dube commended the Wolves for staging a smooth tournament.
The competition has been great. Actually, the Harare teams actually were the ones which beefed up, even with foreigners. We actually had 20 transfers across teams as well, and then we had about 6 from the region. Quality-wise, I believe it's been a good competition so far.
The National Basketball Championships serve as a pathway for teams to represent the country in regional competitions. Things now turn their attention to the Basketball Africa League qualifiers set for later this year. Mthokozi Dube, ZBC News, Bulawayo.
That's it from the Sports Corner, where the report and focus is up next.
A pleasant evening, Zimbabwe, and welcome to tonight's weather report and forecast with mostly sunny skies over much of the country this morning, but it became cloudier as clouds were drifting in from the west as well as from the northern parts of the country. This is the cloud system that we're currently monitoring, which is drifting in from Botswana into Matabeleland north and south, but the thicker belt is still near Namibia. We were expecting it to infiltrate the country as we get into the later parts of this week. But for tonight, we have clouds drifting in from the west, making it rather mild over the western parts, and it's cooler over the eastern parts of the country, where we're still expecting clearer skies. This is our image for today, where we have clearance over those eastern parts with moisture drifting into the western parts of the country as we get into the morning hours, making it rather mild over those western parts, but cooler conditions over the eastern parts because of that lack of moisture. Thus, we're still expecting a few odd showers over parts of Matabeleland north and Matabeleland south for much of this week. It should be in the cool category over these eastern parts with temperatures about 13 degrees. A few single digits cannot be ruled out, especially over areas such as Nyanga. But by afternoon, we should warm up across board. We're expecting most of them to be above 30, especially over these western areas of Matabeleland province. Thus, Bulawayo is as a maximum of 30 for the first few days. But our minimums are conditioned to watch. We're expecting them to fall to about 10 degrees as we get into Friday. Same for Matopo. Our minimums also falling as the atmosphere dries up, thus giving us sunny conditions by afternoon on Friday. For Gwanda, we're expecting it to also warm up by afternoon to about 32, but our minimums also falling to about 10 degrees Celsius as we get into the weekend. We're also influenced by the drying out of the conditions, making our minimums fall to about 11 degrees into the weekend. For Masvingo, we're expecting them to also fall slightly because of that drying effect, but for the first few days it's in the mild category. Wintry weather in the morning over Mutare, but it warms up to about 31 by afternoon. Also chilling over Nyanga, but also by afternoon it should warm up with more of the sunny skies. A few cold events over Marandera by morning, but it should also warm up with sunny skies projected there. Harare in the cool category by morning, but it warms up by afternoon to about 27 degrees, 28 as we get into Wednesday. Kadoma also in the 30 category for much of the week by afternoon. Fortunately, we're expecting it to be in the mild category for most of the mornings. Warms up to about 29 and 30 for much of this week. And for Victoria Falls, we're expecting mild conditions by afternoon. A few 12s later on this week. Same for Lupana, we're expecting it to drop as we get into Friday, but afternoons should be warm enough for the bulk of the week. Same for Binura, we're expecting 30s, and Kariba also in the warm category by afternoon and mild conditions overnight. That's it for weather and forecast. Been a pleasure, Zimbabwe. I'm James Goma Jr. for the Met Department.
Thanks, James, with the weather report and forecast. And that brings us to the end of tonight's main news. Be sure to join us again tomorrow.
Good night.